Hey guys, welcome to another review of critical surf films that are popular right now. And I am your host, Joey Cow, and this is my co-host right here.
My name is Akihiro Obuchi. Today we are analyzing a surf film called Bustin Down the Door. This documentary was made in 2008 and directed by Jeremy Gosh.
Alright, but before we get started and show you some clips of the film, let's have some background info. The premise of this documentary is on the rise of surf industry. Unlike what you are all familiar with today, there was no surfing industry back in the day. And in fact, surfing was looked down upon as a sport for the unemployed, lazy, and troublemakers of society. This documentary follows 4 young surfers who eventually becomes the pioneers of professional surfing.
The transition of surfing from a leisure activity to a professional sport was not an easy one. The stereotype of surfers being unemployed bums was partially true, as many were raised in poor families. While surfing was fun and exciting, it was by no means a way for anyone to support themselves financially.
So how did this small pastime become the multi-billion-dollar industry it is today?
Well, the industry emerged as a result of a clash between two views of surfing. Friction between local in Hawaii and young foreigners from Australia created tension. While Hawaiians would sit in the water and wait for the perfect wave, Aussies rode anything that moved in the water, as quoted from the film. Aussies brought over innovative and aggressive styles of surfing, which contrasted greatly with the mellow, laid-back atmosphere prevalent in Hawaiian surf culture at the time.
Australians and South Africans held a make it or break it mentality. For example, most locals were afraid of the pipeline, a surf reef break located in Hawaii, for its huge waves which would break above sharp reefs. The new generation of surfers of 1975 flexed their masculinity by showing no fear and challenging these waves. Take a look at this clip from the film.
There's a big poster on my friend's wall at his house of a guy dropping in a pipe, and that image just it just freaked me out. It just stuck in my brain. When I was a kid, I never thought I'd surf a wave like that. In fact, it didn't really even scare me because I thought I'm never going to put myself in that situation.
You got to be quick. You got to pull in quick. You got to know what you're doing. People die at pipe. You know, every year somebody dies just about, and that's where you get hurt the most. You ever been hurt out there? That's where I got hurt a couple times.
God damn, pipeline is just terrible. You know, I dove the spot to just check the bottom out, you know, and there's these big, mean, nasty coral heads. And if you go down in the wrong spot, you're going to rip your heart out, you know. And a lot of guys they've lost a lot of guys at the pipeline.
Pipeline was the place that had its set hierarchy.
It was always Rory and Jerry. Forehand, beautiful positioning, not doing a lot, but really looking pretty.
It was an entirely different approach backside. Things were being done which were never done before, and that's the truth. Up until that year, nobody surfed pipeline like that.
Pipeline going backside on single fins just astounds me. You know, I wouldn't want to do it today.
They all developed a way of actually, delaying the bottom turn a little bit and getting their body in a position where they could get tube backside of pipe, which was sort of thought to be fairly impossible.
On your backhand, you just have to draw your line and go for it.
You do not want that lip to land on your head because it will rip the head right off your shoulders.
These guys gouged the hell out of the place. And particularly, I recall Rabbit Bartholomew's brashness and Michael Thompson's sheer balls.
As you can see, all these radical and crazy stunts pulled the media to this irrational group of youngsters like moths to a flame. There was a point in the film where it mentioned that the cameras on the beach focused only on this group of surfers and ignored the rest. This is because the rivalry amongst some of the best surfers of the time displayed intense showing of skill. Growing up in a competitive environment, Australians naturally held this mindset. Watt describes Australian masculine culture in his article Killing Waves by saying, "Competition amongst male friends enables enjoyment to be gained from receiving a mate's praise from the demonstration of physical prowess and risk-taking."
And this was no coincidence. They did this purposely in order to attract media attention, to create a brand for themselves. With extensive media coverage, industries such as Quicksilver and Gotcha grew using the Australians as a marketing tool.
However, Australians were not humble in their interviews and magazines. Referring back to one of the class readings, Booth states that consumer capitalism in surfing promoted a new lifestyle, a lifestyle that favored narcissism and hedonism. As you will see, many of these surfers were self-proclaimed top surfers of the world, and marketed themselves in such manner for fame. Here's another clip we like to share from the film.
Where I come from, you're allowed to say that you're good. And we said we were good. You know, we were number one. We're the best in Hawaii.
He was the one standing there going, we're going to show everyone how to do it. We're going to do hot dogging on big waves. We're number one. We're going to win everything. This is the new era.
We clearly weren't humble about it.
I guess in any sport, if you don't have a big ego, you don't get to the top. You got to believe in yourself.
From competitions as well as from commodification of surf goods, areas around the beach and the beach itself changed to a market-oriented environment.
Needless to say, criticism ensued. Hawaiians felt like they were victims of colonialism. This shift in surfing threatened the last unique cultural aspect of Hawaii.
Some Hawaiians resorted to violence in gang-like organizations, referred to as the Black Shorts in the film. Walker describes the Black Shorts in his article, Terrorists or Native Protesters, that they felt surf competitions violated their space, and in response, they often protested during tournaments. As tensions grew, this organization targeted the most vocal Australian surfers, ranging from vandalism to murder attempts.
After coming in terms with the Black Shorts, the four pioneers strived for professionalism, not only to gain respect from Hawaiians, but also to successfully market themselves without stepping on any toes. Along with the founding of IPS, an acronym for International Professional Surfing, came Quicksilver, O'Neill, and Gotcha, which could not have become the industry they are today if it weren't for the pioneers who wore their products to every competition.
To wrap it up, we can't deny the bad blood that resulted from the misunderstandings between the Hawaiian locals and Australian surfers. But in hindsight, the struggle remains to be the catalyst to which professional surfing was born.
The foreigners brought over a new, aggressive style of surfing to Hawaii. They were ultimately successful in commodifying themselves to promote the growing industry, despite backlash from the community. Well, this was our short film review for surf culture. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.